What if your agent could read your issues, check your PRs, triage it for you, and tell you what to work on next based on signal? I've got 11 issues open in my GitHub at the moment. You can see that being worked on in the background here. Some of them might already have been resolved from some PRs that we merged yesterday. Some of them, of course, depend on each other, and some of them might not even matter at all. And I don't want to read through all of them and try to figure that out myself. I want to have an agent help me and look for where the signal is. So today we're building two triaging systems, one for triaging issues and one for helping us decide on merge order on open PRs. So that's going to be pretty cool, and it works quite well, I would say. It doesn't work as well as my Claude Code one, but it works quite well for the Kiro one. So yeah, this is day 11 of me trying to push Kiro and my Kiro workflow to the same standard as my Claude Code workflow, running multiple instances in multiple work trees. And in this series, we are building a tool called Shards. Shards will actually help us do that. It's a terminal CLI that spawns shards. Shards are essentially coding agents spawning directly into work trees. So we can just run shard create, and it will spawn a new instance of Claude Code, open it for us in a terminal, and launch it in whatever mode we desire. So already at this point, we have been using Shards to build Shards for over a week. We are doing a lot of things in parallel. I think today we have something like 9, 10, 11 terminals running at once at peak. So please look at that. It's pretty cool. So some quick context for this series as well. We are doing a Kiro hackathon. That's why I'm using Kiro. There is a hackathon running right now with a prize pool of 17,000. It's running for the entire month of January. So if you haven't joined yet, feel free to join. You will also get 2,000 free credits if you join. And just to be clear as well, I'm not affiliated with Kiro in any way. So I'm not sponsored. Everything I say is my honest point of view on Kiro. But yeah, all right. So whatever bubbles up here, we will go through in detail together. I'm sharing everything. I do not prepare for this video. I just start filming and start building. So if these videos give any value to you, please can subscribe. It really helps me with the algorithm. And once we're done with this hackathon, I promise you that there will be a lot of deep dives into best practices of using coding agents, going through my workflows, how I use Claude Code, how I trigger Claude Code from GitHub across multiple different interfaces, and by default running everything in separate work trees. Okay, let's dive into the video. Okay, so here we are. We have 11 open issues. We have one PR. So the PR that we have here is basically me just making a plan over the weekend for the GUI. I shared some things about that yesterday. If you want to see more in detail what I have in mind for the GUI, check out yesterday's video. I'm going to put it up here. We might start building the GUI today as well if we have time. But what we really want to start doing right now is we want to start building this flushing flow. And I'm just going to open a new instance of Kiro. Okay, so we are inside of a new Kiro instance here, and we have our issue list. So what I'm first going to do, I'm just going to go to the Kiro docs. And in the Kiro docs, I'm going to go to IDE, and let's see. I think I'm actually going to, no, let's try prompt first. I was thinking about let's maybe make it an agent, but I think it's better that we make it a prompt. So I don't know where the prompt documentation is. I'm manage prompts. Okay. So I'm just going to give this to our agent. Please read this. So we're giving it some meta context about itself and how to write prompts for Kiro. We also have, of course, a bunch of prompts already. Just open our IDE where we can see some of the things that we have in here. We have some, devlog. I forgot to push that yesterday. We need to push that. I'm just going to tell it here. Before we start here, can you just please push the devlog to main? Okay, so we have also 17 work trees open on Shards. So we need to also clean that up. Okay, excellent. So now I want you to read some of our prompts inside of .kiro/prompts. Some of the prompts that are really well structured are, for example, create-plan and create-prd and implement-plan. So please read those markdown files. So I'm just giving it context of some of the other prompts that we have here, because I want to, of course, use Kiro to write the prompts for us. So we have a pretty good structure for how prompts are written. The important things when you write prompts is what is the input, What's the mission of the prompt? What is the process that you want the agent to do? What do you want it to do? And also what's important is what do you want the output to be? What do you want the action to be of the agent? So in my case here, I want a report. I want very detailed structures. I structured my report in a way that I want to see it and read it once it's done. But that's more or less it. We can go more into that maybe in another episodes if we write more prompts, but I'm just going to here give it some context. So I want to create a new prompt. It's going to be called triage-issues. And what the prompt is going to do is going to check what our available labels are in GitHub. It's going to list out our open issues in GitHub, all of this using the GitHub CLI. You don't have to write specific CLI commands. You can just tell it to use the CLI. The agent is smart enough to figure out what the commands are. And then it should compare our issues to recently closed PRs and open PRs that are potentially related. So if they have already, for example, been solved, we should report this in the report that they could be closed, and they should also be labeled properly. So we want to basically go through the list of issues, compare it to recently closed PRs and open PRs, and see if there are some issues that could already be closed that are already solved. And we also want to do a dependency check on open issues, so issues that depend on each other. We also want to add proper labels to our issues and rank them with the most impactful and most important issues first. So we want to rank them by impact. So impact sets importance essentially. So the priority should be set by impact. And also we are looking for signal over noise here. So we want to be a little bit critical about what is important and not. And yeah, let's try that and let's write a good prompt for this and let's then try to run it. Okay, so our new prompt is created. Triage issues. Let's just scan through it quickly. We have a good, which GitHub repository should I triage? Yeah. So I don't need it to ask me which repository it should triage. It should always be the repository that we're in. So the instruction should rather be check which GitHub repository we're in. We have a good objective here. Perform commercial code review, core principles, signal over noise, discover, analyze, correlate, prioritize, recommend. Exactly. Output structured triage report for specific actions for each issue. Process, discover, collect, list, analyze. Perfect. This looks really solid. I'm not going to read through this in great detail right now. Let's test it first. If we see any issues, we will then read it and try to fix the issues. It's quite long. I think it's maybe a little bit too thorough. It's even giving me label types here. So this I probably will clean up later. So it's like it's doing a little bit too much. It's like trying to do a little bit too much here. But let's see. So yeah, it's 520 lines, but I think it's okay for now. Okay, that is good for now. Let's now look at .claude/skills/shards and the skill.md that we have in there. Learn how this shards application work. We currently have 17 orphaned work trees that we need to clean up in this repo. So now we essentially see the Kiro CLI agent use shards. So shards is the application we're building. So we're now using shards to clean up our work trees. And we also have a skill. So we actually have this .claude/skills with the skill MD, where it teaches the agent how to use shards. But since Kiro does not support skills out of the box, we have to shoehorn it in to go and read this skill.md so it learns how to use our CLI. But yeah, we actually ran into some issues here. Let's see. Okay, I think you can clean up all of those that we have open, of course not main, because you see that they're all for tests. Also, I want you to just run git list work trees because I think that there were more. Like our IDE warned us that there were 17 work trees, but yeah, just run list work trees and check. So I also have a bunch of work trees in other projects. I don't know if it's going to list all of them, but maybe not. Yeah, okay, so it's only listing those. That's great. So now we're just cleaning that up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it might be finding it from other repositories. I'm not sure. Anyways, I think we're done here. Let's quit and let's clear and let's go into it again. And now we're going to run our new agent or our new workflow. So we have triage issues. And in Kiro, if you want to invoke prompts, you do @ so just @ triage issues is going to run now on our list of issues. Let's just let this run for a little bit and let's look at some other things that we want to do. So while that runs, I'm going to talk about a couple of things that we have recently been building here. We recently built in a health command. We built in restarting capability. So if we close a shard, we can restart it and reset the context window as well if you want to. We can check the PR status, so if we have a PR connected to a shard or a work tree. And also we can send a message to a specific agent using a context flag. So we can essentially populate terminal with a message or with a prompt if we wanted to. Okay, great. So we have a couple of things here. Okay, please address all the labels. So now it's going to label everything. So I would want maybe it to label it without my confirmation. So we might want to change that later. But for now, let's just do this. So we see we have some priorities that are going to be added here. Let's take a look at what's happening. So we see things are being added. It's also creating labels for me here. I had not had any labels created, so I don't necessarily like the namings here, but I think it works for now. I like that it added area. So this one actually fixed. So I know that we fixed this one. So it should have found this from our recent PRs. So I'm just going to tell it, don't we have a recent commit where this was actually solved already? Yeah, closed. Okay, great. So now we actually found an issue here, right? So what we want to do here, okay, please read this. And I want you to update the process a little bit because the workflow missed this. I think that the workflow in general is maybe a little bit too complicated and a little bit too strict. The agent should be able to take its own decision when it's going to go out looking here. So it should look recent commits onto base branch, which in our case is main, but it might be something else. It should check recent PRs, but it doesn't have to go and look every commit and every PR, but recent commits onto main and recent PRs that have been created. Let's just fix that. Let's try to fix that just by that. I know that Claude Code would basically get what I mean here and fix it for me. It also wouldn't create such a verbose command for me. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's just try to work with this. I'm not going to spend time on manually going through this. Let's just try to iterate with Kiro until we are in a place where we're happy with it. But right now, we're not going to try that again because we don't have to triage again. I do believe that was the only issue that was actually solved already. Yeah, so what we're going to do now, we are going to start doing a bunch of things here in parallel. Okay, so the process has been changed. We're going to try this out later. It has been also reduced, I think. No, it's actually the same amount of lines approximately. It's fine. Let's leave it like that. Can you please commit and push the new prompt directly to main? Let's check our issue list. So we have now a bunch of issues. So not all of them were actually triaged. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that is done. Let's also push the triage report. So I'm going to push those things as well. I'm going to clean that up after the series because I'm going to continue to build shards, of course. But essentially, I just want to show everything, kind of what I'm doing, if it helps you with your hackathon projects, with your prompts, and so on. We have done quite a lot of modifications to these prompts from the starting template that you get in the hackathon. So if you want my updated commands, you can of course get them from my shards directory. These are also, they can be used for any coding agent. They just have to be rewritten slightly, mostly for the input or the argument syntax. But otherwise they work basically with any coding agent. And let us now start working here. Okay, great. Can you please now look through the GitHub issue list and then also read the .claude/skill.md again to get an update how to use shards. And I want you to create worktrees for us or I want you to create shards for us for all the P1 and P2 issues. And you can name the branches after the issues and make sure you include the issue number as well. So I don't know how many worktrees this is going to be for us. We're just keep running into this. So I'm going to take that. Terminal should start. Yeah, so we can see the terminals are starting to get created. So while we have that going on in worktrees, you see we're getting this again. I think it's the same issue, right? Yeah, same issue, the same PID issue on everyone. So I guess the tracking isn't working. Okay, great. So now I'm going to do is, can I do /clear? Actually, I don't want to clear that one. I want to keep this one because this is now our orchestrator. This is the guy now who knows all of our, where all of our worktrees are. So we're just going to start a new. Okay, so here is, okay. So I'm going to run at investigate issue, I think. That's my prompt. Yeah. So that's my investigate issue. We keep running into this when we are opening new shards. Okay, so that's now going to do an RCA for me. So basically this is investigating this issue. So we are running that. I'm going to put that over to the side a little bit. And we're going to run actually exactly the same prompt here in all of them. So we're going to run at investigate dash issue. I'll copy that. And this was 29. This one we can close. 29. I don't know. Okay. Issue 33. 28. 7. A feature that we're building is so that our orchestrator can actually pipe in everything here. So it's not going to work maybe that well in Kiro, but in Claude Code it's going to work beautifully, where we can basically say open a shard, run this slash command and pipe in this issue. So we can basically do opening Claude Code. It's going to write me the slash command that I want to invoke, and it's then also going to write me the argument that I want to invoke. So here I can basically invoke these right away, these numbers, essentially, right? So then I don't have to go up here and look at the number and everything. But yeah, we're working around a few limitations here of Kiro, of course, in this hackathon. But we're going to bring this same workflow over to Claude Code once we're done with hackathon. So now we had 7, here we had 6, 7, and one more thing I need to do. I have again forgotten what the command is for trust all. Is it slash tools trust dash all? Was that it? I think so. So let's just do this on all of them. And we want to also make a change there to our startup command, because now we can configure the startup command so it actually launches in trust all mode right away. So we don't have to do that. But yeah, I think it's fine for now that it's like launching like that. And we can enter the trust all mode. I think that's better for like other users that might want to use this that are not as comfortable with running multiple. But we can also go into the config, like we do have a config somewhere here. Yeah, so somewhere in this file we should be able to set, yeah, you see we can basically flag. Yeah, so I just add here, we basically just need to add trust all. Okay, then we at least know what the issue is, that it's actually not doing the trust all command here. Claude, it's trying to run YOLO, so we have some bugs in here, but that's fine for now. We don't need to worry about that right now. It's good to know that we have it. And yeah, let's just try to get all of these fixed here. In the meanwhile, our agent is done with the investigation. So let's just open this up. It's in our reports. No, issues, investigation, this one. Okay, so it's a low thing. We're still gonna start fixing that as well. So we're gonna do at implement fix. We actually need to check that. Implement issue. It's gonna tell us which issue. So the artifact was make sure you do this on a new branch and that you create a PR. So this guy is not working inside of a worktree. This is basically like our main clone. So we're running that one. At the same time, we're running all of these. So we're going to do the same here. So we're going to do implement dash issue. I'm not going to look at all of these plans. I'm just going to assume that they are pretty good. And we can't give it the 29 number just yet. This is also a limitation of Kiro. We're going to have to do that. Then we're going to have to tell it 29. I'm going to do the same here. That's 33. 28, so 33. 28. 27, 26, 7, 6, 26, 7, 6. So I'm also using a new tiling manager that I don't know the commands for, so I don't know how to like swap focus between these terminal windows. It's a little bit awkward for me right now to work with. I'm gonna reinstall my old tiling manager here, so I can't be bothered to learn the key bindings for this one. But yeah, I'm gonna do that hopefully today, potentially tomorrow, so that next time I do this, I can actually swap between these windows properly. But yeah, let's just run this. We're also running this guy, so we're now running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 agents in parallel or 8 terminals in parallel. And yeah, we're fixing a bunch of issues. Great. So now we at the same time here, we're gonna create a new prompt now. Okay, great. So now we want to create a new prompt, very much inspired by the triage prompt that we just created. But now instead, we want to create a prompt for helping us decide a good merge order for open PRs. So basically it should investigate open PRs, check for dependencies, check for merge conflict potential, and then help us decide on a merge order. The merge order should of course focus on highest priority, highest signal, but it should also kind of help us decide between merge order when it comes to conflicts and stuff as well. So it should be like an intelligent merge order reporter. So we want to create that command as well. Now these are now running on the same branch, so we have to be a little bit careful of that, but it should be fine. I'm just going to pull these out while these are running here. So let's see if, I don't know if there is like a PR created, pushed at least. Did you create a PR? If not, please create one. Okay, now there is one. PR 34, I can see there now. So these are all compiling. Okay, so now it's starting to now test a bunch of startup commands. So you can see that it's now starting to run a bunch of tests here. We are going to close that guy out, close that one. So you see this one is now running Kiro, and this one is running Gemini. Awesome. So it seems to be working. I don't know which one ran test. I think most of them here are going to start running some CLI commands. So we're going to start getting a bunch of shards opening here probably. But yeah, that's fine. We're going to clear, actually. This is PR34. We do clear, and we do yes. And now we're going to do at views PR. No, or we can do slash prompt. No, not dash. So that's at least going to give us, no, that does not give us our custom ones. Stupid. Okay, please, Kiro, just give me autocomplete in the terminal. This is stupid that I have to remember these all the time. It's probably the main pain I'm having with Kiro at the moment is that I have to remember all of the commands in my head and I have to write like at and the command name. We have, where is it? I don't think, is it that one? No, it's not this one. This is the basic one. This one? Yeah, it's this one. Dash code dash review. Okay. And it was on 34. That's also a pain. I have to remember. Give me a status line where I can, so that I can have which PR I'm on and which branch I'm on somewhere down in where I'm writing. 34. So we're gonna clear. This was 39. Yes, clear. 39 slash clear. Yes. This was 37. 41. So slash clear. Yes. It is very clunky to work with Kiro if you compare to Claude Code. What was this now? 41. I remember. I don't remember. I started talking and I confused myself. Too long prompt. Come on. I think it was 41, but I really want to be sure. Here we go. 41. Now I'm going to remember this is 40 slash clear. Yes. 40. 36 slash clear. 38. Okay, great. So now we have these guys here. So what I want to do here first is, okay, please move to main, commit the prompt directly to main and push it, and then move back to the branch that you're currently on. So before you move to main, check which branch you're on right now. So we want to do this first just so that we get the new prompt into the main branch. Now that is done. Now we're going to do the same here. Code dash review, and this is PR35. So now that can run. That's also a code review. So all of these now are running code reviews. Some of them are done. We're going to just say here, must fix, should. I'm actually going to just do all of them on these. Please address everything in the suggestions. Make sure you push to the PR when you're done. Let's just do the same. We can look here a little bit nicer how this looks like when it's running. So this is the code review workflow. Like we're running a code reviewer, a comment analyzer, an error hunter, a type analyzer. So this is basically a little bit of a swarm that is running code review on our PRs. I like to run this on everything. Like also since we have free tokens right now, I'm just gonna run it. And it's definitely a token eater. It's not cheap to run. But yeah, it's actually not running for that long. I don't know. I don't have the most confidence in the system here in Kiro because it's like these usually run for a few minutes in Claude Code with like more or less the exact same prompts. So I'm not too confident that it's actually finding good things. And also once everything is done, it's also running a doc updater, updating my documentation. So yeah, let's wait for that. Fix the issues, push the PR. Okay, great. This one's ready for input. Okay, great. So I'm going to close down some of these now. They are all going to be pushed up and ready in a second. So I'm going to keep these open for a second more, just so that we can come back to them if we want to do some more changes to any of the PRs. But yeah, so now we can see some actions having happened here. So we have now 9 new PRs or 8 new PRs. And we're not going to check these too much ourselves either. Someone riding a dirt bike here outside, so I hope my dog is going a bit crazy and I hope you don't hear the dirt bike through the mic. But if you do, I guess that's fine. We can see here is also one of the agents is testing a little bit here. So we see some terminals keep opening. We have Claude Code spawning here. Let's just proceed to see Claude Code launches properly. We can see that we're in the work tree. We're running Opus. We're running Kiro down here. Let's close those out. And yeah, we have our issues. We still have some issues left that we didn't touch, which is the priority free ones. This one is something that I really want to look into, but it's a little bit more of a novel issue. So I need to plan that a little bit more in detail. Yeah, and the tunnel, the configuration system, we need to address as well. But we will do that together with when we fix the startup commands inside of the configuration. So we'll kind of leave that for later. The configuration works at the moment, so we don't need to like really address it. It's not that important. Enhanced health monitoring features. Yeah, we might do that. But what we want to get to right now is we just want to have this last guy done here. Once that guy is done, we are going to, okay, perfect. So now this guy we're going to clear. We're actually going to quit and clear. And now we're going to start it again because we want to load in that new command that we created that I now don't know the name of. Hero. Okay, we're just going to say, please, can you go to main and pull the latest? So I think we are on the branch, and that's why, yeah, there we go. Merge order. So now we need to quit and restart. So now we're gonna run at merge dash order. So as you can see, when I create commands here as well, like even though I'm doing everything like very vibe coding and trying to have the agents do as much for it as me as possible, there is a couple of reasons why I'm doing this, of course. So because we're testing the Kiro CLI, we're testing that it's like as capable as Claude Code, because I know that in Claude Code, a lot of these commands that I am running, I am able to trust to a large extent, as long as I give it enough context of what my priorities are, what is valuable for me, and so on. So it helps me a lot with those things. And I'm also putting in strategic human in the loop things. Every one of these commands is not taking actions without us having the chance to go in and edit things in the meanwhile. So for here, for example, it's not starting to merge things. It's giving us a report so that we can help dig through. Like it would take us quite a while if we would want to go over all of these pull requests one by one ourselves, checking everything, reviewing everything, deciding on which order we should merge it in, fixing all the conflicts. It's going to take us a while to do that. So just having this helper that creates this report for us, where we can just go in and read it, like a little bit of a more distilled version of the same thing. As long as we can trust that output, we like get a little bit of signal here of what we should follow. So 6 ready to merge, free context or conflict prone. We get a bit of a summary of the key findings, recommended strategy, estimated merge time. So now we're probably going to do this in a few minutes, but recommended merge order. Okay, perfect. Documentation, great. I don't care too much about this. As I've said before in this series, we're very early on in development. We're not building anything super difficult, super novel. So everything should be pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to say, please start merging this in one by one. Make sure that you rebase in between each and check merge conflicts and intelligently resolve any conflicts. If you at any point in this process have any questions or unsure, please ask me and I will help you through it. So now we essentially have this guy solving everything for us. A couple of things we can do in the meanwhile. Let's just, oh, what happened? Okay, let's just open up our terminals. We can actually close them out. Yeah, I'm just gonna do close all on iTerm. Yes. And for this guy now, this is like our orchestrator, right? He knows all of those shards that we had open. So I'm just gonna say we now have PRs created for all of the shards. You can now test like the status commands of shards and stuff like that and see that you can see that PRs are attached and stuff like that to see if that's working. So this is a feature that we tried to build last time. I haven't really tested it, but yeah, as we can see, there are some issues here still. But let's see, shards. Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, so we don't actually have any because I just closed them. So we don't have any active ones, but we have active work trees. But we can see this is great that we're doing this testing. We can see it's still this without PID. So it is problem with the tracking. Yeah. So what happened is I closed them, of course, so it's not gonna find the sessions. I don't want this guy to start. I don't need you to go in and change anything here. So what actually happened is I closed all of the terminal sessions before you started running the status check. So there were no active sessions there. We now have another agent doing a bunch of fixes and merging in all of the open PRs. So I don't want you to write any files. I don't want you to change any branches or anything like that. So don't mess with that. But what you can do, you can explain to me those errors that you got, because I saw that you started to get a bunch of errors. So let's just see, I'm gonna see if all of it is now merged. Look, everything is merged. Even our plan files are merged. It's fine. I didn't really want that, but I also didn't specify that I didn't want that. But now we can see here. Okay, so now actually all of our issues are merged onto main. So check that we have the latest main, and now you can do testing again. So we can see here we merged 9 PRs, a bunch of things in here. So we can now quit this one. We don't need that guy right now. I'll leave it open if we are going to do something more, but we are running out of time here. These things are going very quickly, like the hour goes up very quickly. I usually only have time to fix some issues and not really build a lot of more features yet, because the reason why I'm also quite thorough with fixing all of the issues that we run into, because if I make sure that we are thorough from the get-go, we have some clean architecture, we have good patterns to follow later on, it's going to make it a lot easier, a lot quicker to build things on top of this later on. So that's why I am quite thorough, even though I'm not doing a lot of manual reviewing. I'm checking the key points. I'm reviewing that I have the correct structure and architecture that I want, and testing, of course, all of the commands manually. So usually after each of these sessions, I just run all of the commands and check the error outputs, and I then create issues if I run into issues, so that I can address those issues in the next session. But we can see this looks pretty good now. We are not running into the same issues as we had before. We have a little bit better logging, a little bit better visibility. I don't know if it has actually, it's trying to launch, but it has some issues launching here. I do not know why exactly, but I suspect that it is because I closed the iTerm. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, because we didn't have any iTerm sessions opening. Okay, for all of that testing though, I did not see any iTerm terminals open. So please also run tests to test if the terminals open with the agents inside of them. So you see, it's like it's trying to open shard created successfully. Ghostty. Yeah, we don't actually have ghostty support yet, so use iTerm 2. So here we can see, yeah, so it works with iTerm. It was just that it tried to use ghostty. So that's the issue that I explained a little bit about before. We removed ghostty terminal support because it didn't support the e-parsing, and there was an issue open in the ghostty repo for that. So I think it has actually been resolved now since we opened this 2 weeks ago. But yeah, we haven't implemented it yet. So that's something that I want to do. I use ghostty as my main terminal, so I would really like this to work with ghostty. And yeah, let's just let this complete here. Great. I can confirm for you that we opened 4 terminals. 2 of them opened Kiro, one of them just opened an empty terminal, and one of them just opened and echoed hello from Shards. So it seemed to work. I don't know why you can't track the PIDs. If you can't track the PIDs, then you are probably, there is some bug or issue there, or potentially the agents run not as we expect, and we actually have a bug there. But yeah, please look into that. Check if you can see them if you run status now. And also, can you close them? Can you close these terminal if you want to? Do we have, I don't think we have functionality for that yet. So we're doing a little bit of debugging here. I'm looking for why we are not being able to track the session. Okay, great. So we definitely want to describe this issue clearly in a new GitHub issue. And we also would want to have probably a GitHub issue outlining, and we also want to have a GitHub issue outlining the feature where we would want to basically, when we do run the kill process, it should also close the terminal window. Okay, but that's it for today. I'm gonna let this run. Once it's done, I'm gonna run the add to devlog as I do every day. So if you want to see what's happening here, you can just go to the repo, check it out. And other than that, I'll see you again tomorrow.